So I get to tell it in its full and wonderful entirety. I had racked up 270 grand of debt to the ATO in 2 years, right? I spent, I don't know, 15 grand getting my accountant in to get everything perfect because I thought that I was going to get sent to prison, basically. You know, I was young and naive. I didn't understand enough about it. The ATO sounded huge and scary. You know, my bookkeeper downstairs, it was old times we had a freaking phone with the cords on it, you know, the landlines, which had intercom to the 5 different phones in the office. I had her on the intercom. I had my accountant upstairs with me, the big boardroom laid out with all of our folders with blue cover sheets on the top, like everything. We'd done such a good job. This frumpy chick walks in, and she didn't have horns, she didn't have a tail, and she started asking questions. And you know, the accountant said, "Yep, we've got that here. Yep, we've got that there." She said, "Do you have anything to declare?" And he said, "Yes, we'd like to declare that we owe $270,000 and we haven't submitted our BAS." She's like, "Okay. Do you have the money to pay that?" Fuck no. I don't have 270 grand, do you? And my accountant stepped in and said, "Okay, we'd like to request a payment plan, please." And she said, "Okay, what period of time would you like?" And obviously the accountant had briefed me all on this as to what we're going to do. And I said, I can't remember, it was like 3 or 5 years. You know, I said it was at least 3 years, but I might have said 5 years because he's like, you know, like a home loan, they say get as much as you can for as long as you can. She said, "I'll tell you what, if you can pay this back over 12 months, we won't charge you any fees or penalty interest." And my jaw hit the floor because what it meant is that 270 grand that I should have paid to the ATO, instead I'd used it to hire more guys, to buy materials, to grow my business. They were going to extend out my line of credit for another 12 months and they didn't charge me a thing for it. So they can be, early days, a really good source of equity, a line of credit to use when you need to grow your business. But fuck me, you've got to be careful because it will sneak up on you and you will have to pay it back one day. You know, it does come around. That you need to pay it back. If it gets to a point where, hey Hugh, there is an option there, man, if you're really dodgy on internet, because I've seen you drop in and out a few times, that you can dial in. I'm going to see if Maddie can text you through the dial-in details. So like you make a phone call. I don't know if we're an Australian number, but I'm pretty sure we have, where you can just dial like an 03 number and enter the code. And usually, you know, you still have 3G reception, so you may not have internet, but you may be able to do that. So I'll get Maddie to text that through to you, and then you've just got that option there if you want it. Eventually, the ATO is going to come a knocking. If the debt gets big enough, then there's ways out. But really, it's going to cost you 20 to 50 grand to avoid it. So unless you've got a massive, massive debt, it's not worth worrying about. But if anyone here ever gets into that situation and needs help with it, I can put you in touch with some right guys who have guided people through working with that situation. But you know, at some point, the ATO loan does come around and they start asking for it. You know, if the ATO sends you a letter, don't worry about it. In my experience, this is my humble experience, the ATO sends a letter, don't worry about it. They get generated by 1 million a week. When they start calling, things have gotten real. Not a you have received a call from the ATO. We're looking, none of that shit. When a person leaves your voice message, it's always from an unknown number. Not that I've got much experience with this or anything. It's always from a fucking unknown number. When a human being starts calling you from the ATO, that's when you start worrying, all right?